Titans, or should I say the inner Titan circle, because this video is more for the inner kind of fans who really do appreciate the extra tidbit details of what may very well indeed be coming with Titan Season 3. But as you saw from the title of this video, primarily is to tell a bunch of everyone in the fandom that Titans has indeed finally started filming. But we've got some insider information in this video. We're going to look over some teasers, some actual set photo teasers, and a whole bunch more. Just some Red Hood speculation and a couple of theories. And I just realized I wasn't in focus. Stupid camera. Or stupid Boba, one of the two. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel to never miss out on a single Titans update video. This will be the time from here on out where the main stuff will be coming, because they're filming now, so there's going to be tidbits for the next several months until they obviously start airing it. And I'll talk a little bit about that later as well. But first of all, I want to talk about these teaser photos. These teasers come from the cinematographer of Titans, Boris Mojsovsky. I don't know. I'm sorry, I butcher names, but either way, this little intro to the video is just to generate some hype. And before anyone says it, yes, I know Wayne Manor is glowing green here. Doesn't mean Bruce is cooking up some Lazarus juice and giving it to Jason. Just before anyone types it, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. No, but really, here we can see Wayne Manor. I recognize that to be Wayne Manor. I feel like Bruce and Dick Grayson did actually pull out that very corridor and started walking down it when he said, "I see you've met up with your old Titans friends," or whatever he said in season 2, the first episode or two. But there's also a little bottle here of, like, yet again, some green-esque kind of lighting through the... I don't even know what that is. It's got a Titans label on it. Clearly, it's like sat on top of some kind of equipment, like camera-y kind of sound stuff. I don't know. Something to do with his amazing cinematography, because I do love the Titan cinematography. And yes, before anyone says it's because it's this green liquidy kind of thing, no, it's not Lazarus juices, waters in a little container. It's just not, okay? Drop it. Just drop it. I know there's Red Hood coming, but just calm down. He teases us with the Titans Season 3 slate, like Take 2. It's just, I love that little Titans Season 3 logo there. Just seeing it actually happening now is really generating some hype for what is to come. And there's some other stuff as well. I mean, guess the location. I believe one of them may be the Titans Tower before they actually go to Gotham. I feel like I recognize this location. I know we can see some readings in the background there. You could argue this is like a posh kind of a hospital, a private room for somebody who's in a hospital, for some reason or another in a scene. For some reason I recognize that. Do you remember like when Connor was in the Titans Tower and like Starfire was with him? But other than that, we definitely know that's Wayne Manor. And this other location could very well be Wayne Manor again, but just a different location in the manor, because it's a big manor and there will be some Wayne Manor scenes next season. As we do know, Wayne Manor is coming back, as well as Gotham. But now let's get into probably the main bit quite a few of you have been waiting for. And I've sourced this person before, this place, Villian. Some of you may recognize that name in a Titans community. He has been quite right, just to preface him a little bit, on many things before. Obviously, take it with a grain of salt though, because this isn't confirmed officially. It's not guaranteed information. But once again, just the reason why I'm commenting on this, one thing you guys should know about me as well, I don't comment on rumors, really, ever. And I guess you could say these aren't necessarily rumors, they're more scoops, if you would say. And I don't really do that, especially if they don't sound particularly realistic or like they're coming from some completely unknown place. But this has got quite a bit of backing behind it. And also, you know, I hear some things of my own as well, some definitely legit things. And just to tie into that even more, these don't sound out of the ordinary at all. It's more just like cool little tidbits to digest. So very, very believable stuff. But let's get into it anyway. So first of all, he wants to comment on Jason Todd. The Red Hood costume is made to be very accurate to the comics. Red Hood is set to be the main antagonist of the first half of the season. Not much else is known about the character, though I have heard that the Red Hood costume includes gun holsters. This implies we might be getting some vigilante gunplay in the third season of Titans. So yet again, I feel like you could almost like write that without even having to know that for a fact. That's very Red Hood-esque anyway, but obviously just hearing stuff like that out loud, and if that very much so is the case, it's nice to know. Still, I would hope they would go accurate to the suit, and Titan's suits, the vigilante suits, are mwah. The gun holsters isn't surprising to me, because I don't see why he wouldn't equip guns, because that is what Red Hood is most comboed with, if you will, in the source material. As for the antagonist first half of the season, I believe, especially from what I've heard as well, that is right. I know some people are flipping about Blackfire. It's like, well, this was was meant to be Corey's season. What's going on with Black? That's still going to be a lot of squabble. Don't get me wrong. Bear in mind, he does say first half of the season. So we do have a lot of stuff going on. And I know that's also of a concern to some people, because just like in season 2, they mix other things in there. Like we had the Cadmus Labs thing with Superboy. That storyline isn't going to be abandoned. And also this season, not to mention, we have Scarecrow, Jonathan Crane in Gotham. They're having to protect the whole city because one assumes that Bruce is taking some time out because of what happens to his little Robin, Jason Todd. So do you know what I mean? I feel like it's those kind of vibes. I know that's a lot going on at the same time. People get concerned about too many characters, too many things going on, lack of development, but I'm still excited by what I'm hearing. Call me a bit of a biased person, but I think this is one thing us fans of Titans, despite all the issues it may have over the past 2 seasons, there's something so charming about it as well. And I still just really root for it and love it. The aesthetic, the characters, the cast. Next up, Brenton Thwaite's Dick Grayson is set to reinvent himself as Nightwing. This Dick Grayson will be much more lighthearted and mentally stable. The Nightwing suit has gotten some small upgrades, mostly so it is more comfortable for the actor to move around in it. This will also make performing stunts with it much easier for the stunt actors. This is necessary because I've heard Nightwing's fight scenes in this season are supposed to be way more flexible and acrobatic. Yet again, I've also spoken about that in previous videos. It makes sense. Like, Nightwing is very flippy, if you know what I mean. Furthermore, Donna Troy will be returning to the series, and we've already broke that down as well in DC Fandom. We had Greg Walker very much so teased that with Raven and this whole underworld thing going on, but he goes on to say that the way her storyline is written is very flexible, as it allows writers to place her resurrection storyline wherever it fits best. Wonder Girl's actress Connor Leslie is set to film scenes that are intended for the last few episodes of Season 3, though she could very well only make an appearance in the post-credits scene of the Season 3 finale. If the coronavirus shutdown restrictions continue to get worse, they might even revive Donna Troy in the middle of the season. They might even delay her resurrection until the premiere episode of the 4th season, though this seems unlikely. Yeah, I agree with that. I do think she's going to be involved in the season a little bit more than what this indicates. However, I have had the feeling for quite some time now that she's not... We will have Connor Leslie again, but I don't think she's going to be as present as what she has been in Season 2. I feel like she'll be spread few and far between, but I do think she's going to be more in it than what is indicated here. I definitely don't think they're going to save her for the post-credit scene. Not at all. I'd be very surprised if they did that. If they do end up doing something like that, it's probably more they thought of that as they went along kind of thing, because sometimes stuff like that is in flux. However, I do think we will be seeing him much earlier than that. He goes on to say, unfortunately for Beast Boy fans, his role this season will be similar to his role in previous seasons. The character has more lines this season, though the focus of this season is ultimately still not on him, but other characters. Well, I wouldn't have thought that the entire focus is on Gar, but yeah, people want more Gar, nevertheless. Gar is getting a new costume this season, though, but it's not a superhero costume. God damn it. Gar's new costume is a more streamlined version of his original jacket. Rachel will also be getting a new costume. Beast Boy fans, say what you will about that. I'm not looking forward to reading those comments. Additionally, I have heard a lot of cool things about Starfire Storyline. A lot of Starfire fans should be very happy about that. While I don't have any actual plot details yet, I do know that Corey is set to wear several different costumes throughout the season, with some of them looking similar to her Scrap Season 1 costumes that were leaked a long time ago. They're setting Damaris Lewis's Blackfire up to be the main antagonist of the second half, as we kind of went over half of the season, with her being far more powerful than her sister. She's able to use her powers in the ways that Starfire has never been capable of doing. Fortunately, Corey will gradually be mastering her own powers throughout the season until she's ultimately able to defeat Blackfire. Seriously, I've heard the stunt team has outdone themselves with the Blackfire stunts. Well, that sounds very exciting, and I do think that will be the case. I think a lot of people have overreacted when they heard about the Red Hood stuff. I think, I know I've mentioned this a couple of times already, but they thought that would be putting the Blackfire stuff at the back, on the back burner, so to speak, but that is not the case at all. Other notable details I've learned include the fact that there will be at least one time jump this season. The first episode takes place months after the original Season 2 finale, as the Titans are working on fixing their reputation and becoming actual heroes. Hawk and Dove have smaller roles this season, though they are still present. Bruce Wayne will also be in Season 3, though I am unsure if Ian Glenn will be suiting up as Batman. As far as I know, he is not set to wear the suit in the first half of the season. He could possibly appear as Batman in the second half of the season, though that seems unlikely. I'm not even really going to comment on the Batman. Well, I guess I am, but I'm not going to go over that again in sense, oh, is Ian Glenn suiting up? Because in season 2, there was so much false spread stuff about that. And there could have been some truth to it, because they may have actually built that suit behind the scenes for him to wear, and then, like, for some reason, well, that's to do with the Batman and the Bat embargo, so to speak. They just said, actually, no, we don't want you doing that on TV. But as far as that goes, who knows? They can still do the Red Hood stuff, even without Ian Glenn in the Batman suit, and I'll get into that in just a second. And as for the time jump stuff, yet again, that also fits into how I think the whole thing with Jason will happen. For the last thing he says, Titan Season 3 has started production this week, with it being set to wrap up in June 2021. It is currently unknown when we can expect to watch the 3rd season. I'm thinking it will be before June, just because I swear there's still like a couple of episodes left that they're still kind of filming a bit and whatnot when they still even release episode 1. On DC Universe, though this is on HBO Max now, so maybe there might be a little bit of a difference there. It's kind of like in a similar sense to network shows like The Flash. They start airing episode 1 when they're only filming like several episodes ahead, well, multiple episodes ahead, but you get my drift. Might be a similar aspect to that, so I'm still hoping for like springish before June next year. But that is what Villian had to say in his article. As I said, take it with a huge grain of salt, but none of that is really a stretch too far from the imagination from what we have already heard, officially even from comments about Titan Season 3. Now, as for, just to go over the Red Hood speculation, and it dives into what we were kind of just talking about, the time jump, and just like the first half villain aspect of it. I would love to know what you guys think of this. I may have said it before, but it's just a bit more ironing out as to why the Titans go to Gotham in the first place. So I always felt as though the Jason thing, like whether we see any flashbacks to what actually happened to him with the Joker, and I have heard it is the crowbar Joker route, you would have thought it would have been right towards the beginning of season 3. However, it might be like my other theory that I've mentioned, that they might not even show the Jason thing, so to speak, the context as to why he became Red Hood, what actually happened to him, because all the other characters, perhaps maybe like Dick Grayson and that, in this iteration might truly not know what happened. They might just assume that he died, just like Bruce may have assumed that he died, and that's why he's kind of temporarily retired, gone on some kind of bat sabbatical, so to speak, until he reveals it himself, where maybe like Jason, like Curran Walters is Jason, unmasked the Red Hood, and like he has this confrontation with Nightwing, like Dick Grayson. He talks to him about what happened to him. This whole time, maybe the Titans are fighting him, and they don't know who this masked Red Hood is until the moment I'm talking about. And in this confrontation dialogue, so to speak, think a similar kind of dialogue between Deathstroke and Robin in that flashback where Jericho dies in season 2. They're like talking in an exchange like that, except when Jason removes his helmet, the Red Hood helmet, like they're like, oh my god, you're alive, kind of thing. This is where he may very well explain what happened to him, and this is how they show their version of the Red Hood creation. Maybe Joker crowbarring him, but done in a very, very obscure way. For example, jumping in and out of obscure flashbacks, silhouette-y kind of ways, like I've mentioned, and then jumping back into the conversation. Do you know what I mean? Like, so he's talking, explaining things, it does flashes of maybe a crowbar, a purple like forearm of the Joker's suit, in the kind of way that episode 11 of season 1 of Titans, the finale, where we saw an obscure Batman and an obscure Joker in hospital. We didn't have to see it properly to understand that, oh, that's clearly Batman, and oh, that's clearly Joker. I feel like if they are going to show what happened to him, that is the way they'll do it, obscurely. Like mental damage flashes on the screen as he's like crying maybe, but also very angry at the Titans maybe not having saved him or something like that. And I still do admit, I completely understand some comments right now might be saying this is weak motivation. Why is he getting revenge on the Titans? Like, it doesn't make much sense. The setup for what they have done for him thus far in season 2 is that he's felt pushed away, disregarded, belittled by all the Titans, like right up until the end. Remember that scene where he went up to the rooftop and Dick Grayson kind of consoled him with all the Titans beforehand? We're just looking at him like he was doing the pranks. I understand this is such a premature, immature kind of, oh, I'm going to kill you all now because, you know, Joker like crowbarred me or something. But obviously through whatever happens to him, you can still hope they show this storytelling in such a way where it's such psychological mental damage that he's still angry at these people who disregarded him last season. And also maybe there's some more stuff in between the season that made him feel even more abandoned. But I do admit it's still pretty weak. because you would have to think they're going to have to throw in something that makes that a lot more believable. It makes sense more with the traditional story of Batman, because he feels like Batman abandoned him. I guess you could translate that to the Titans, because he was more at home with the Titans than Batman. I don't know, but that's enough of my rambling, to be honest. I would love to know what you think of that. I truly do feel like they're going to do something like that in season 3. That would definitely be a way for DC and Warner Brothers to give their stamp of approval to show the Joker crowbarring him, but through like a kind of scorched scenery, kind of flashing in and flashing out kind of way. It'd be also interesting to see Rose's reaction in that moment. Maybe he kills a character like Rose in that moment, and that is like a no going back kind of moment. I don't know. There's so much potential with this. No matter what you think, or no matter how weak you think the Red Hood thing is, there's still so much potential, which I think is what us Titans fans grab onto. Like this video if you did enjoy, I'd really appreciate that. Subscribe, as I said, to never miss out on an update. I want to say thank you to my patrons appearing on screen right now who support the channel every single month. You guys are legends. Also the join button members, I really do appreciate you guys. And if you want to check that out for yourself, links to my Patreon page is in the top pinned comment, as well as to my social media, and you can click the join button on the channel as well. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you Titans in the next video. Goodbye.